Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about what's happening about the COVID-19 around the world and what's happening with everybody who is dealing with some kind of conflict. Usually it all depends on what's happening around the world these days, and usually conflict can happen to different kinds of people, even if they have different energies. What I mean by energies is basically their vibes. I mean, if they are happy, if they are not, if they are okay. Um, it all depends on how they are doing. And this is going to be not a very long video, but it seems to be okay. We're going to be talking about um, solving. Well, we're going to discuss about the ways that we are going to do, and we'll identify about what's happening. Usually it depends on the way that you are looking at things in a different angle, and that's what it is all true. But the thing is, what I'm saying is that when we look at conflict is based on theory. It's based on math, and usually, usually I'm doing this as my way of thinking. There's a time and place that we can be involved, of knowing to be expected and knowing to identify it. And usually, when it takes time, we have to understand that COVID-19 is around us, and we have to be not afraid of it. But sometimes we have to be afraid of it because we don't even know about getting it to a positive from one person to the next person, and so on and so forth. We have to understand that conflict can be different ways. That's all true, and we have to understand that when COVID-19 is in our way, how can we stop it? Well, we can't, because the virus is actually invisible. We can't see it. But when we have all these tests from positives, and lots of people are into the negative, that's all great and dandy. That's all fine. But you have to realize that this is going to be a complex scenario, because you are having this fear factor. I'm going to use what's happening between what I can say and what kind of going to do. Okay, and that's how it is. And when I make this as a good financial way, you will see it on the table that I'm going to show you soon. The thing is, what I'm talking about is that we have to understand that conflict is around us for every single day, every single week, every single month, every single year. And we have to understand that when you have identification, you have to understand that there's a will and there's a way. And you have to understand that, because when you focus on positive things, you will focus on that. If you focus on the negative things, then it will drag you down. And when I usually see conflict in different kinds of areas, such as the tarot, for instance, the oracle cards, the everyday life that we are all on, we have to understand that we have to think and we have to act. Okay, we can't improve ourselves that we are being the victim. Okay, we can't be that. We can't, because when you're taking advantage of somebody, you can become the victim. Okay, don't let that happen. Okay, realize that when you have this COVID-19 around us, this is what I'm going to tell you. Okay, and you will see it. This is going to be my baseball field that you will see it. What's on home base, first base, second base, and third. We're going to look at that in my own script, and then we're going to look at, well, about dealing with conflict. If anybody doesn't know about that, we're going to deal with that too, and that's what we're going to make this And that's what making this video a little bit, not short, well, not long, but a little bit short. So we are going to get on it right away. Just give me 1 second. So if you have any further questions or any answers or anything that you can think of or any ideas or what I'm trying to say, you can actually do it on the live chat and say, hi, how are you? Or you can do that. Or you can just say, okay, I'm going to take a comment. I'm going to write what says, where I should get a message from him. You can do that too. And not only that, you can follow me on my channel. You can subscribe it, and you can give this video like when it's all done and flourished, which means it's all patterned and done. And this will be, if you see it right now today, you will see it probably when it's on the following morning, which means at midnight. So just to let you know that this is going to be good. Hopefully you will understand this video and hopefully you will like it. So further ado, I'll get my piece of paper, my pad, my everything else. Because I want to see how my viewers will learn about this. If there are any questions, then yes. All right, let's get this down. All right, so the thing is that we have the Seven of Wands, the Queen of Swords reversed, the World, the King of Swords is reversed, and we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is how it's going to be. Now, the thing is, this is going to be the COVID-19 puzzle, the COVID-19 baseball field, not puzzle, sorry. We're going to figure out about these two as well. So we're going to have the Queen of Clubs, and we have the Six of Clubs, and we're going to read those two first. So the first one is a sincere friend of the Queen of Clubs. So we have a sincere friend. A sincere friend, if you're looking at it at the health officials, that's like what a sincere friend is. They are in the voyage of showing us the ropes. Well, you know, there's no ropes here. Joke there. Anyway, they're just showing us about what the path is, what's happening, what's going on, and how can we reverse the curve to go down more. And we're going to see that in the next while or so. So basically, this is how it's going to be. And if you are Pentacles, if you are Wands, this is like a fire and air situation. So this is how it's going to be. So who's the enemy? Is the Six of Clubs the enemy? The enemy is basically the virus. Here we go. And the virus will go from one person to the next person, to the next person, to the next person. It's like playing hopscotch. And if you know what hopscotch is, you know how to play that game. You throw a rock and then you step, right? You just skip that number. Anyway, the fine lining is that that's number 2 here. So that's what the enemy is. It's basically the enemy is the virus. That's what we have in the Six of Cups. The next one is who is on first base. So we have first base is here, and it says lesson completed. And we have Kronos is the king of the Titans. So I'm going to do that. So if you're a planet of Saturn and you're in charge of the horoscope, you know that is. So we have the king of the Titans, and basically we have a lesson completed. Let me just look at, just so you can see my face for a minute. So when we look at the who on first base, well, lesson to be completed. Well, we understand that there's a lesson to be completed, and we have to understand that. We have to learn a lesson here about the COVID-19 scenario. We have to believe that we can take further step of knowing what to be expected, what's going to be our next stepping stone. And we have to understand that, we are all in this together. Okay, and we have to identify that. We have to understand that, right? And there's always possibilities. There's always possibilities. Now the thing is, for who is on second base, is basically a vantage. Well, the vantage is the planet would be Mars. Mars is the god of war. Well, who's at war with us? Well, we know the virus, right? The virus is actually on war against us. We have to improve ourselves that we can do better. We can focus of, be reversal, that's a good word, to let the virus to go down. And this is how it is. This is how it is. Because, we have the God of War, and, who is on second base is the vantage, right? We have to take it. We have to take a risk. And that's what it is. Number 3, who is on third base? Authority, Uranus, the god of heaven light. We know who that is. And basically, authority is basically the health officials. They are trying to tell us, what are we going to do next? And they're the ones that are steering a ship. You know how a ship is? You have the captain. And the captain will go say, okay, let's go this way. You know exactly where you're going. Okay? You have to follow it that way. You have to follow it. If you don't follow it, then basically you are in the OH moment. And you know how that is, right? So if you know what the OH stands for, or oh heck, then that's what it stands for. Because you don't know exactly where you're going to go. Left, right, middle, south, west, northeast, Those are the things. And basically, who is on home base is help. Well, the help and separation. And basically, we have the God, the messengers of the God, which means Mercury, another planet. So we have all these 4 planets that we have to look at, like who's on first, who's on second, who's on third, and who's on home base, right? Because first off, we need help, and we have separation. Then when we go to first, we have lesson completed. We have advantage. We have authority. You have all those from first base, second base, and third base. Okay. Now that's not only it. That's not only it. The thing is, we have fire and air in the COVID-19 virus, who is our enemy. Our advantage will reverse the cases to go down. Eventually, that's going to happen. It will. It will eventually. It's my prediction of knowing what's happening about what BC is going through, and that's how it is. We have to understand that the way we feel, the way that we are acting, okay, and when you have different people who are not paying attention, means you know how it is, the partiers, the gatherers, the super spreaders, the non-listeners, the 4, right? You have to understand that they don't understand about this virus. They don't care about it. The whole world has to care about it. It has to. Because when you have protests, when you have violence, when you have all sorts of stuff that's negative territory, you have to start, middle, and end. That's what it is. If you go from home base, first off, you have to get to the bats and swing to get to the first base. Then you have to go and swing again to get to the second and third, and then get a home run. You know how that is when you play baseball. That's what you have to do. Okay, that's why this virus is like our pitching point which means that we have to understand that where are we, right? And we have to know, because there's always these certain questions when we have fire and air situation. If you're a fire, you know how it is in numerology. If you're air, you know how that is. For these two, in this whole entire pandemic situation, we have a fire and air. And when we have that, it's like a blowtorch. You know how a blowtorch is? You know how it is, right? It's very hot, right? Well, we have to understand that the virus is like the fire. Okay, the virus is the fire, and the fire spreads everywhere. Well, how can we actually get the fire out? Well, we need water. Well, we need to do that, right? But what happens if we don't? Well, you know that the fire will spread everywhere, right? Because you would have air. Get it? Air. And basically you would have wind. So wind creates the air and you have fire. Well, if you add that, then that's actually a blazing fire with air, or a blowtorch. That's what this whole entire virus is. The scientists already know, or basically working slow as much as they can, because they don't know. They really don't know. When you look at it a different way, that I always do, the only thing I look at is the health officials, what they're saying. Then you look at me, what I'm saying, totally different. You have to understand that if you work together, you have to realize that COVID-19 is not going away for a long time, okay? Yes, BC is in this third wave. Okay, well, how can we slow it down? How can we? Well, you close everything off. Okay, you do that. But what happens if you have all these patios open while you have rain and people don't want to go out? Close the patios. Get a little bit of a genius. Be like Wile E. Coyote. And, and open a little bit of the indoor dining. Then people will go in and then not go into the patios. You know what I'm saying? You have to look at that end. Because when you close all the indoor dining, you know how much, like if the King of Pentacles was here, you know how that is. You gain money and you lose money. Well, if the King of Pentacles was in this whole entire picture that you're seeing is not there, right? If it was there, you understand how the indoor dining is going through right now, right? It's a shame, right? They're in a bad place. They're like hitting, like, for example, if they were playing a roulette wheel and they're winning, they're losing, right? Because they're hitting a black number. They're hitting a black number. They're hitting a black number. They're not hitting red. They're not hitting a game. They don't. Now, because you have to understand that when I figure this out on my own, it's harder for me because I'm learning at this, right? And it helps my brain think. But when you take it time and time, day by day, month by month, and year by year, that's how long it is. Because we don't know how many ways we will have. So we have to understand that we are in a systematic problem. We have to understand that we have to reverse it. We have to reverse all those COVID-19 cases to go down. The longer people who are paying attention, the better. If people don't pay attention, then we're going to start what they would say. We're going to back where we started. And we don't want to do that. We really don't. But that's what they're trying to say. They want us to go back where we started until now. And that's like almost comparing the two, right? People believe in it, people don't believe in it. You have to make these people to believe in this. And if you have more people to believe in this and not this, then you would have the cases to go slightly down, right? That's what it is. But when you don't, you know how it is. So every person is different in their own way. That's why you have to see it. That's why you have to identify it, right? Because when I see this in a whole entire example of what I see it as the tarot situation, the Six of Clubs is the enemy, and we have to destroy that. But how can we? Right? That's a good question. How can we? Well, we have all these vaccines. Okay, go from one person, one person, one person, one person. Well, if we have a lot of people who live in different regions, in different provinces, you have to understand that every person has to work together, from the elderly to the younger age, and you have to keep going. If you stop, the whole production will stop, and then you have to wait for more. So, there is a bypass to understand this, okay? That's why I'm usually visualizing it differently, right? Because if my viewer would ask me a question right now saying, what's happening? I'm telling you this from now, from the home base, first, second, and third, okay? This is why you have four, okay, of the baseball field. That's what I call it, because you have to understand that everyone has to work together. Yes, we have help, but when we have all this separation stuff, it's hard for people to go and see their friends, but they can't, or they have to go on Zoom, or they don't want to. They have to go on Facebook. Okay, we'll do that too. There's lots of ways to do that. Like, it's so funny that if you want to hug somebody, you're obviously hugging your computer. Tell your truth, or hugging your phone, or hugging something. But that's what it is. You have to look at it that way. You have to look at it a different way, a different angle. That's why this is like a fire and air situation. If Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius don't like the air situation of Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, there we go. That's 6 zodiac signs right there that I just did. But if those 6 zodiac signs hate each other, well, hate is the name of the word, right? They don't like each other. That's why this is like almost Covid-19 conflict. People don't want to pay attention. People don't want to listen. People don't want to learn. People want to be people. They want to rely on other people saying, okay, I'm going to meet you at the park. Okay, well, a few minutes later, you don't know about the park, and then you have all these 50 people, and there we go. There goes one test, one test, one test, one test. And then you have 49 plus or 50 plus, and then, yeah, right? So be it. But you have to understand that that's what separation is. If you have all these people who separate, you can understand that the cases will go down further down the line. If people are not paying attention, the cases will rise again. You see how I get there? You have to understand that. Because who's the authority? Well, the authority is the health officials, right? And who's not authority? Me or anybody else. But I'm telling you this, my viewers. Pay attention to spirituality. Pay attention of knowing to be expected by his words. Respect and be nice is good. When you don't do respect and you don't understand his words, then you are on the wrong channel for this. But you have to understand. Before I let you all go, there's one thing that you have to learn. Stick to your bubble. Second, do the 2-meter part. And third, what health officials would be saying, be kind, be calm, be safe. And I would put this in here. Stay positive and be patient. That's what I should do. Because, people need to be nice to each other. People need to pay attention more. People understand how this is going for everybody. Anyway, thank you for understanding this message. And that's why this is going to be a short video, not a long video. But yeah, anyway, just remember that if you have anything to say, any comments, anything that you might want to learn, even anything that you want to ask me, anything, you can do that. And by the way, everything needs to be okay with everybody. Everyone has to rely on their own self. But the longer when people stay in isolation, for example, the longer it's harder for them. They will get anxiety, stress, all those things, and they won't handle it anymore. Because when you look at half of the city is paying attention, half of the city is not paying attention. That's what the two differences. So you have to understand that everyone has to work together. And everybody has to pay attention together. And that's all I can say. And my motto is, that's the way I roll. And that's how it is. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.